What's going on, everyone? So, how realistic is De'Aaron Fox to the Lakers? I've been asked that a lot since the recent news. De'Aaron Fox may very well become available. He may end up, as of right now, he hasn't requested a trade, but as it was reported, Sacramento is in the danger zone with him. He's a Klutch client, so, LeBron James ties. Going to a big market like the Los Angeles Lakers would do wonders for him. Him and Anthony Davis, post-LeBron era, make a ton of sense. He'd be him, LeBron James, Anthony Davis would just be absolutely tough. You can see the picture. You can paint the picture. But is it realistic? Is it a possibility? Now, 8 years ago, if I said, hey, LeBron James is going to be a Los Angeles Laker, people would be like, you're crazy, Tyler. Stop. You're delusional. Go take your pill, right? Like, people would be losing their minds. And then if I was like, oh, they're not only going to get LeBron James, but they're also going to get Anthony Davis, people would be like, all right, where's my pitchfork and torch? We're going after it. And people would be trying to cancel me off the internet. So never say never is my point. You never know. However, I don't think it's very realistic. I think it is incredibly low. I think that there are better long-term options for him. San Antonio being one of those. I think he makes a ton of sense with San Antonio, him and Wemby's age, youth, right? Anthony Davis isn't like old, but he's older, right? So you just would have longer time with De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama than you would with De'Aaron Fox and Anthony Davis. So there is that. I just think if he becomes available and he doesn't force his way to the Lakers have no shot. They don't have the assets and the pieces. And even if you're willing to trade, like if you can get De'Aaron Fox, you trade everything. Everything. Austin Reeves, here you go. Dalton Connect, here you go. Both first, here you go. The 3 pick swaps, here you go. Right? Like you do whatever you can. Because De'Aaron Fox, you just got your all-star point guard for now and the future. Right? Defensively, him and Anthony Davis would be beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You're in excellent shape moving forward. And you got the next 5 years after LeBron where you're in great shape. But, again, I don't think it's realistic unless De'Aaron Fox pulls an Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis still had that year, but he said him and Rich Paul were like, you can trade for me, because there were all these teams that want to trade. Boston was a team that wanted to trade for him. You can trade for me. I'll play for you for the year, but as soon as I can, I'm leaving and going to the Lakers. That's how it's going to happen. So don't trade for me, because if you trade for me, then you're not going to have me very long. Guess what? Team said, all right. You look at the Kawhi situation, because people be like, well, maybe they'll do it. Look at Kawhi. That was a very unique situation. Kawhi Leonard was a top 3 to 5 player in the league at that time, right? Like, the dude was it. De'Aaron Fox isn't that. He is a very good player, but where does he rank? Top 20, top 25, maybe, right? Like, he's not top 10 in the league, right? Like, a team might rent Luka for a season or something and take the chances and roll the dice if the price is right? Like, that's very different than, a De'Aaron Fox, who, again, is a very good player, but the teams aren't going to do that. So unless De'Aaron Fox directly says, which wouldn't happen this season, I don't even think he will request a trade this season. He wants to be in Sacramento. He's one of those guys that has said, like, he would love to just play with one team his entire career. And there hasn't been any reason to doubt him. I think he'll ride out this season. I think he'll give them the trade deadline, kind of see if they can get something, and then maybe like the first month of free agency or something to see if they can work something out. And then in the offseason, I could see him being like, all right, I gave you guys a chance. I'm getting out of here. Because he's not going to get that Supermax. And look, I talked about this like a month ago and said that if he doesn't get the Supermax, I think he leaves regardless. Because Sacramento's stuck. I do not see a path. Look, I'm very confident De'Aaron Fox is probably getting traded at some point. I don't see how Sacramento digs themselves out of this. Right? DeMar DeRozan was the death of them. That was it. It ruined them. I talked about it heavily on this channel even. Talked about it heavily. People told me I was crazy, and now look. They didn't. The last thing they needed was DeMar DeRozan. They already had De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk. You needed 3-and-D wings and a better backup center. Like, that's what they needed. And there was a clear path to get into contention for Sacramento, and they just threw that whole thing away. And now they're going to be in a position where good thing they signed DeMar DeRozan, because you're probably going to be relying on him more than you ever thought you were going to, because you're probably going to have to trade De'Aaron Fox. I don't see, he's not going to get that Supermax contract because they're not going to be good. He's not going to make all defense or all NBA, right? I don't see him doing that. Now, if he does qualify for the Supermax, that could change things, because then he gets that extra year and that extra bump and all that stuff. So he gets the Supermax, right? But if he just gets a regular contract, he can get that anywhere if he gets traded. So there's no point for him to stay in Sacramento, right? At that point, I think he requests and demands a trade, which there's several teams that I just think make as much, if not more, sense for him, San Antonio being one of them. However, again, he's a Klutch client, right? LeBron James probably only going to have another year after that. Like, it could be one of those things where it's like, hey, I'm going to play one more year, and then you and Anthony Davis, you two are the guys, right? You guys go and handle business, and good luck to you, right? LeBron James might even take a discount in order to, try to help make a push, try to win a championship before, right? Especially if you go get De'Aaron Fox, you might as well try to go all in at that point, right? Because even if LeBron leaves, you still want to be in contention. But it's just, unless he forces his way, the Lakers they don't have the assets. Like San Antonio has a ton of assets, ton of picks, right? They have a young guy in Castle who very well could be Rookie of the Year with Jared McCain and his injury, and then Dalton Knecht having his recent struggles. They have several other, Devin Vassell, who's like 24. San Antonio could easily go get and just have better pieces to go make that happen. And now they got their point guard and their center for the next 5 years at least. And Victor Wembanyama is making $13 million next season and then $16 the next. They could go get another max star, and because Wemby's being paid like a role player, right? Like, so again, like, he'd be making less than Austin Reeves. Like, that, you talk about value. People are like, Austin Reeves has great value. Wemby has insane value. Wemby's the best contract in the league, right? So they can take some risks. They can take some gambles, right? Lakers aren't in that position. So I don't see a path for the Lakers to acquire De'Aaron Fox unless he is just, I want to go to Lakers. That's the team I want to go to. That's the organization. Me and Anthony Davis, I think, can win a championship together, right? We'd have LeBron for a year or two, and we're in good shape. However long he wants to stick around, fine. Plus, I also think LeBron with a De'Aaron Fox would kind of take that back seat. Just be like, hey, you know what? You go do your thing, handle your business, and kind of, pass the torch a little bit to the young guy. Because, again, he's proven. He's a guy he's a killer, man. Like, dude, he's one of the best fourth quarter players, like, every year in the league, right? Like, him and LeBron James in transition would just be tough. I would love it. If there is even the slightest chance, you have to do it. As soon as he becomes available and you're Rob Pelinka, you're at least picking up that phone. You have to at least do your due diligence. You have to at least have the conversation. Like, hey, what are your thoughts? What are you looking for? If I'm LeBron, I'm calling Rich Paul and going like, hey, buddy, we should get De'Aaron Fox to the Lakers. Like, sit down, Rob. Sit down, Jeannie. I got this. And LeBron should be picking up the phone and being like, Lee GM, going to down like, hey, get me De'Aaron Fox type thing. All right? That's the only way I really see that happen. Again, nothing is impossible, especially in sports. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, if I told you LeBron James and Anthony Davis were going to be a Laker 8 years ago or whatever it was before they came, people would be trying to cancel me off the internet for clickbait and talking, thinking I'm delusional and crazy and I've lost my mind and, Tyler's been hitting the bottle, or, people would it would be a mess if I said that then. People would think I'm crazy, right? So, again, to think that De'Aaron Fox won't come to the Lakers, I don't think is that crazy to say, right? But It's just, I think it's a very, very unlikely. Like, if I had to put a percent to it, I'd say like, I'll say 10% just because he is a Klutch client. Right? And no, we know what we know what the edge that the Lakers have that no other team has, right? It kind of, it's right over there, on the poster behind me. But outside of that, I think it's like 90% that no. Again, I just think that if I'm being honest and remove my bias, right? Obviously, I'm a Laker fan. I have a Laker channel. You're on it right now. But if I remove my Laker bias, right, the reality is, like, Spurs make more sense for him. There's a couple other teams that make more sense for him. Even Houston, I think you can make an argument, makes more sense for him. So, and they just have better assets, better position to go and get a guy like that, personally. But however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. First off, would you love De'Aaron Fox? Do you think absolutely not? Stay away from De'Aaron Fox. There's other guys, better guys, whatever, however you feel. Do you think that, how realistic do you think it is? Do you think it's completely unrealistic? Do you think it's 0% chance of happening, 10% like I said, or 50%, right? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, either way, I would love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.